This video was brought to you by Yamaha Proven Off-Road ATVs and side-by-side vehicles.
Hey ArcheryTalk, this is Lucas, and now I've got my long-term review of the PSE Ferocity compound bow. Before we get started, if you could please like, share, and subscribe. It really does help the channel an awful lot. We're going to get started here with specs. In case you're unfamiliar, the Ferocity has an axle-to-axle length of 30 3/4 inches, a brace height of 6.5 inches, an IBO rated speed of 328 feet per second, and it's got draw lengths adjustable from 24.5 to 30 inches. It's got draw weights up to a maximum of 70 pounds. PSE sent me this one with 60 pounds. And right now I've got this bow dressed up with a black gold Ascent whitetail sight, a QAD Ultra Rest HDX Arrow Rest, and a titanium archery products stabilizer. I'm going to break down this review with likes and dislikes on this bow. And so I'm going to start off the likes, I think, with the overall appearance of the Ferocity. To me, this bow does not look like a $500 bow. That's the MSRP on this bow bear. If you put this on the line against, with a bunch of flagship level bows or bows that cost at least hundreds of dollars more, I really don't think it's going to look out of place at all. The only thing really the one tell you can say that it was not a flagship level bow, it's got like a composite plasticish limb pockets. But besides that, I like the nice wide set limbs. The mossy oak camel looks really good. It looks like a high-end bow. Next up on my list of likes is tuning. The Ferocity was one of the easiest bows I've had to tune in a very long time. I set this bow up, kind of trying to measure it a little bit with my eyes, at least the rest position and the D-loop position. And my first 2 shots through paper were bullet holes. This thing was just lights out, super easy to tune. And anytime I can get a bow to tune that fast, it makes my life a lot easier, and it's a big plus for me. Another mark in the plus category for the Ferocity is the accuracy of this bow. Right away, I shot this bow really well out to 40, 50, 60 yards even. I'm super happy with this. In fact, realistically, I don't see a great deal of accuracy difference between this and something like the Evoke or any other kind of flagship level bow. This thing just flat out shoots, and that's a great thing. Another mark in the positive column is the grip on the Ferocity. Honestly, this has got one of the best grips in the industry as far as I'm concerned. It is flat on the front, it's fairly narrow, super repeatable for me. I would happily have this grip on any bow I've ever shot. It's probably the favorite PSE grip I've ever touched. Really great marks for this one. Another mark on the positive side is how easy this bow is to adjust. Especially for a beginner who maybe this is a $500 bow. Probably beginner is a pretty good target audience. With a rotating module, it is super easy to change your draw length to find that the setup will work just right for you. Because we've all been to a bow shop when we first started and we got measured and maybe we were a half an inch or so too long or too short. And not having to go get different cam modules or anything like that to change your draw length really makes life a lot easier. And this one, you can switch it easily from 24.5 to 30 inches just by loosening a couple of screws and rotating a module. So great marks there for PSE. So before we get to the things I don't really like so much, I guess we'll look at something you'd call them in between like and dislike. And for me, that's the draw cycle of this bow. It's okay. I've have draw cycles I like a lot less on flagship level bows, and I've got draw cycles I like a lot more. So it's somewhere in the middle. It's just okay. It starts off really light, and then it builds, the second half of the draw cycle, it builds kind of pretty heavy. So it feels a lot heavier than a 60-pound bow once you get in the second half. At the beginning of it, it feels a lot lighter than a bow of that weight. So it feels pretty good, but I just wouldn't call it a definite like. Moving on to the dislikes, I think I'm going to start off with how this bow feels at full draw, at least when it doesn't have a stabilizer on it. This is a very light bow. I think it's coming in at about 4 pounds or even less. And when I'm at full draw, I just feel a little bit, not super steady and stable when I'm kind of holding on target without a stabilizer. Once I throw on the tap stabilizer with 3 or 4 ounces out front, it settles things down incredibly well. In fact, it feels like, then I'm holding a bow of, that's a $1,000 bow at full draw. It feels the same way once I get to that point. It just requires a stabilizer. Sometimes I don't like to shoot my hunting bows with a stabilizer. I like to kind of go into the woods with as light a package as I can find. But it's not the end of the world or anything like that. I would put that low on my dislike scale, but I figured it was worth pointing out. Probably my biggest dislike with this bow is how it feels after the shot. The Ferocity has a good bit of vibration. I've not been able to tune that out of it, even with the addition of a stabilizer, even just at 60 pounds. There's a lot of feedback in the hand after this bow. It's not incredibly loud or anything like that. Maybe a little louder than I'd like, but the vibration is significant. And it's not. I don't shoot a hunting bow as much as I would shoot a target bow, hundreds and hundreds of times a night. So it's probably not a huge deal, but it's something that you should probably be aware of. It's time for my final thoughts or my conclusion, what have you, and I have to say I'm super impressed with the PSE Ferocity. It's one of those bows I would have no trouble at all taking into the woods with me. I'd happily hunt with this thing. It's crazy accurate. It feels great in the hand, and I feel super comfortable with the bow, especially with the stabilizer on it. So I would have no trouble recommending this bow to a new archer, especially with the ease of adjustment, or to somebody who just doesn't want to spend $1,000 or more on a hunting bow, which is a super understandable place to be in. So if, for $500, you're getting an excellent bow that, for my money, is going to shoot as accurately as, at least with my skill level, as any other kind of high level hunting bow. I really like how this thing shoots. If you're in the market for a bow in this price range, you want to go check it out, visit your local PSE dealer and have a look. And thanks, Archery Talk, for watching. We'll see you again soon, and I've got a comparison coming up soon with this bow with another bow with the exact same price point. So stay tuned for that. Thanks so much for watching.